Hi, this is Jen, and thanks for joining me. Today I am doing the Spellbinders March kit of the month. This is what is included in the kit. The small die of the month is separate unless you get the kit sheet, which is what I subscribe to. There are 8 small dies. In the card kit, there is a sticker sheet and the envelopes and card bases. There are several transparencies. 2 or 3 of them have sentiments on them. There's these cute little hot air balloons with brads, and then there are 4 paper flowers, 2 green, a pink, and a purple, and then these chipboard accents, and 2 adhesive doilies. And then I call these paper starbursts. I'm not really sure what they're called. And then you've got your die cut pieces, mainly florals. There are a few sentiments in there, and then also a ticket. Some of them have just really faint gold accents. There's some flatback pearls, a doily transparency, a hello, kind of like a chipboard hello in gold. And then, of course, you've got the ribbon. There are 5 different ribbons. Your double-sided adhesive, and then the dies that come in the card kit. There's a frame, a banner, several floral, and then you've got your heart, your circle heart with the, or your round heart with the circle insert, and then you've got your pattern paper, a mint, of course the gold, a lavender, a purple, a dark purple, white, and then you've got several different pieces of pattern paper. And this one has some, it looks like silver accents and then a gold accents. So when I get the paper, I just cut them in half. It makes it easier to work with, and there's still a good size for you to put on card bases without having to worry about it not fitting. So the first card that I'm doing, I go ahead and take the pattern paper that has several different colors on it, and I cut that apart and then put it back together and adhere that with tape, and then I will take a square die and just cut out the pieces. I wanted all the colors on the card, and as the pattern paper was, that wouldn't have allowed that, so that's why I went ahead and cut it apart and then taped it back together. And so I go ahead and run that through my die cut machine, and then I'm taking my embossing bag and using my Versamark pen to just lightly make kind of squiggle lines, I guess, over the panel. And then I'm taking this Ranger Tinsel Gold embossing powder, and I will go ahead and heat set that. And then I attach that to the panel along with the hello, and then I take one of the stickers that says love and put that on a black background, and that is the first card. Very quick card. Most of these are actually fairly quick. So for this next card, I've gone ahead and I'm using the small die of the month. And basically, the dies only cut on the outer edge, so you have to use the die with the smaller set. And you can mix and match them, which is good. So, you know, you could use this with this. So basically, that's what I did to make my 3 frames. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the flowers from this chipboard set. I will also use my foam squares when I find them. And this piece of background paper right here. So I'm just taking some of the double-sided adhesive, and I will adhere that panel of pattern paper to my card base and trim off the excess. And then I'm going to take the gold frames and use some Nouveau Deluxe adhesive to adhere those. But initially I don't adhere them. I just put the adhesive on and then set them on my card, just so that I have a little bit of room to go ahead and move those in place exactly where I want them, which is the great thing about liquid adhesive over like a tape runner or something like that, is that you do have the ability to sit here and move the item around on your card before it actually sets. So you do have a little bit of wiggle room. So I'm just going to go ahead and get those centered where I want them. And then I'm going to take the flowers, the flower chipboard pieces, and pop those up with the foam squares. So there will be one flower for each frame. And then I take 2 of the paper sentiments that came with the die cuts, and I put one after the first frame and one after the second. And I pop those up with foam tape. So it says "It's so amazing," and then "Love and laughter," and that will complete the second card. So for the next card, I am using the floral green pattern paper and also the Starburst pattern paper. I'll go ahead and adhere the floral pattern paper to my card base. And then I will adhere the circle also. And then I'm just going to take the other elements that I'm putting on the card and kind of try and figure out where exactly I want those. So the 2 white doilies in this set are adhesive, so I just go ahead and adhere that down. And then I'm going to take some of the foam squares and pop that purple heart up. And then here I'm just trying to figure out where I want to put the ticket. And I used just about every single piece in this card kit, which usually I don't. Usually I have a bit of stuff left over. I don't quite make 10 cards using this. Usually it's between like 5 and I think I made 7 or 8 in this set. So that's probably why I used up most of this stuff. I had a ton of paper left over after this kit, but I did use up pretty much every single of the little embellishments and other elements that came in the kit. So I just took a paper sentiment, and I try and use ribbon because it comes in every kit. I try and use it at least on 1 card. I believe I use it on 2 cards for this set. So this is the first card that I'm going to use it on. And I like to adhere the ribbon using the double-sided tape. And I'm using the tape from my stash just because it's a little bit thicker and it fits the ribbon better. And then I just go ahead and pop up this sentiment with foam tape and take a few of the flat back pearls, and that completes this card. And it's the sentiment says "You've got style." So for the next card, I am taking just a small strip of kind of that marble paper, and then I cut out, I used the 3 dies that came with the card kit. So I did the banner, the hearts, and then the frame. And then to make the banner a little bit longer than what the die actually was, I just went ahead and folded a piece of paper and then made sure that it wasn't going to cut the top, and then ran it through my die cut machine like that. That way, when you unfold it, it's a longer banner. And then here I'm just adhering the strip of marble paper. And then I'm just going to go ahead and add the different elements of paper pieces, and then also the balloons. And for the balloons, the brads I don't actually really use as a brad is intended to be used. So I went ahead and I cut off the ends of the brads with my wire cutters just so they wouldn't be visible when they are placed on the card. And here I'm just trying to figure out how I want to lay out the different elements on the card. I just wanted to mention I am doing the voiceover for this video. It's kind of late and my fiance and my son are both asleep, and so I'm trying not to be super loud, and that's why my voice is fairly low. So hopefully you can still understand me and that it's not too annoying, but I just thought I'd throw that out there. So I go ahead and I pop this sentiment piece up and I set it down, and then I ended up having to pull it up and move it over. I had it too close to the balloon on the left hand side. And so it kind of separated from the paper. I was trying to get the whole thing up, but it separated from the paper. So I just went ahead and I put adhesive back onto the foam square and then just placed the sentiment where I wanted it. I also go ahead and take some of the little hearts from the heart die and put those around the card. So there's, I believe this one has looks like mainly the gold ones. And I believe that does it for this card. One more heart. I actually do use my Wink of Stella clear pen and go over the Sparkle Everyday sentiment. And then one purple heart, and that completes this card. That's a very pretty die. I love that die. This card is probably close to my favorite. Basically, I'm going to make a window in the card, and so I went ahead and found a die that kind of matched it size-wise to the transparency that says today is a great day, I believe is what it says. So I just go ahead and run that through my die cut machine so that there's a window in the card. And then I made two frames. I made a white frame, which is the frame that I put down directly over the window. And then I will take my Fabri-Tac and place the transparency on top of that frame. Oh, it says today is your day. And then I'm going to take the purple frame and use my deluxe adhesive and put that on top of the transparency. And actually, Vicky P had done a card recently where she had taken some acetate and stamped a butterfly on it, and this is kind of what she did with it. She made like a window in the card, and so that's where I got the idea from, and I think it turned out really cute. So this is the second card that I used the ribbon. So I'm taking the biggest floral die cut and just kind of putting the ribbon, kind of smushing it around on the back and then trimming it off, and then I use my Fabri-Tac to adhere the whole piece to the card. And then I believe I used two of the sticker sentiments on this card. And I love this glue. It is so strong. It's got a strong odor to it, but it's awesome. It's very strong. So I did use some of the flatback pearls and then two sentiments, and those aren't meant to be straight. So, I mean, there's some other cards in the set which I tried to get them straight and didn't really turn out, but I just really love the way that this looks with the kind of like a peekaboo window or see-through window. I really like this card. So the next card, I am again taking this kind of gold foil lettering and placing that on my card base. And then I'm taking this oval transparency and using my Fabri-Tac. I tried using just my deluxe adhesive glue with the transparencies, and it didn't really work very well, so that's why I ended up using the Fabri-Tac. And then I had this gold frame from one of the cards at the beginning, and so I kind of just threw that in there and placed that on the card. And then I'm going to use 3 of the paper flowers. So I go ahead and adhere those with the Fabri-Tac. And then I take 3 of the pearls and use those on this card. And then I also take some more of the little hearts that were left over from the heart die and place that on the card also. And then the 3 stickers that I use are wonderful, inspiring, and beautiful. And so wonderful and beautiful are directly on the card, and inspiring, I pop that up with foam tape, but that completes this card. So I made 2 smaller cards with some of the scraps that I had left. So I went ahead and I took 2 of the card bases and cut them down to about 4x4 size, so that they're a little bit smaller than the usual card. And I went ahead and one of them I put the marble paper on, the other one I used the mint paper. So for this first card, I'm taking a leftover gold piece with the hearts, and I am placing the paper starburst and then the doily, and I also have several of the leftover little hearts on there, and I put those around the card. And I still have a ton of those little hearts left. And then the sentiment says congratulations. And I believe that completes this card. And then the other 4x4 card, I go ahead and I get out my little decorative scissors, which I have like a ton of them, but I hardly ever use them. But they are really super handy. So I went ahead and I took the colored paper from that pattern paper piece and trimmed the bottom of those with my decorative scissors, and then I adhered each of those to the card and trimmed off the excess. And then I'm going to take this Think Happy chipboard sticker, and I place that on the card, but I end up covering up the sentiment with the paper starburst. And then I use, looks like several of the leftover hearts, and then several of the flatback pearls. And then the sentiment just says, hello, friend. And then the last card I almost forgot to include in the video, and I think it's probably my favorite card. So for this next card, I went ahead and I cut out, I'm not going to end up using this. This cuts out 2 ways. So you can either cut it out without this centerpiece, so it won't cut out the center. So you can either cut it out like that, or you can, when you run it through your machine, put the centerpiece like this, and then it will cut out the center. So you can use it either way. And then you also have the circle that we can use to cut out a circle. So what I'm doing is I'm going to be using these. I really wanted to do a Shadowbox card with this. It's proven to be a little more difficult than what I had thought. I'm going to go ahead and use this pink doily, this transparency. And so I've already started the first one, and what I'm going to do is do 3 layers. It's going to be like a shadow box, but there's not going to be anything inside of it. So what I've done, and I found the easiest thing to do is to take a piece of adhesive foam, and this is just the stuff from Walmart that comes in the pack. It's a little bit thicker than the dollar store, and it's adhesive on one side. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting this piece of foam in very tiny strips so that it can go around the very inside of this heart. And I really wanted to do this, and so it's not the easiest thing in the world. So when you take the adhesive off, you just have to be really careful about not having it go. I would rather it go towards the outside a little bit and show that way than towards the inside of the circle. So basically, I'm just wrapping this little piece around the circle so that it gives a little bit of dimension when I place it on there. So this is going to sit like this. This will sit on top of it. So it'll just raise it up a little bit and give it kind of that Shadowbox feel, even though I will not be using anything on the inside because there's really not enough room. So that's what I'm doing. So I went ahead and use a purple base, and you could probably tell the other, when I do, when I make the video originally, I talk through the whole thing, and so there are parts that I keep if I like it or don't, when I have to remember what I said, and so that was me actually when I was filming the video. And now I'm doing the voiceover. So I go ahead and I adhered the purple piece, and then I had used the square die and cut out a little white piece of paper. And so now I'm just putting together the Shadowbox portion. I've already adhered the first layer onto the card with the doily behind it. And I'm just taking my multimedia mat and putting a bead of glue and then kind of flattening the glue out with my finger so that it doesn't squeeze out the sides. I did go ahead and put the little purple flower in between these two layers, and then I will go ahead and adhere those two layers to the bottom one. So there's actually 3 layers of hearts, and then I'm taking my multimedia, or not my multimedia mat, my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, and adhering the leaves just flat onto the card. And I've been wanting, like I said, to do a Shadowbox card for a while, and so I thought this would be perfect. And I actually really like how it turned out, and I've been looking forward to doing more. So the sentiment that I'm using is Celebrate Happiness. So there are 2 of these stickers, and I just popped those up with foam tape. And then I use my Morning Dew Nuvo, which comes out clear. It looks like little raindrops. And that is the last card. And I almost forgot it. My favorite card, I almost forgot it, which is why it's here at the end of the video. So here are all the cards again. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, like I say this every time I do one of these videos for Spellbinders. I just look forward so much every month to getting or finding out what their card kit's going to be. I think they're super elegant and pretty, and I just love them. And so I hope you love them also, and that if you are subscribed, it gives you some ideas of different things that you can do with the cards. So thanks so much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up if you liked this video or found it informative, and subscribe if you would like. And again, thanks so much, and I'll catch you later.